Hello everyone, Gwen Destruction here. I'm a little late, but I figured I'd go ahead and chip in with a review of Neca's Bloody Feral Predator, based on the amazing scene from Prey. This figure is an interesting cloaked variant of the Feral. Shoutout goes to 1313 Mockingbird Lane, which I found this bad boy at. Do look into this store if you are in eastern Kansas. Without further ado, let's talk about the figure. Well everybody, I did not think I was actually going to go ahead and get this action figure, honestly. I've never been a big fan of variants of action figures. We all know that Neca has been notorious for releasing multiple variants of the Predator figures, and obviously it's not going to stop with the Feral Predator. In fact, this is actually the second of the three variants that they have released. There's another one that just came out at San Diego Comic-Con, I believe, or was unveiled, and is now just hitting shelves. And that one I'm actually going to attempt to track down. But this one right here, I finally found it, and I've got my hands on it, and it was one of those ones that I wasn't going to track down in the Neca store. And I had searched at Targets for, during the entire trip, I was down in Texas. And on my way back home, I went through several Targets, not stocked up on this figure, but I finally found him all the way across state while traveling with some friends, and I brought him home. So as we begin our 360 view of the box art for this is really interesting. Now, as you can see when the light hits it, it has that Prey written in it, and it's all just like a blood red. And I think this is really unique for what they went ahead and did. Rather than this just being a flap that opens up with the pictures inside, it's actually more of like a slipcover, honestly, box, and completely translucent with a singular picture on the back. I'm personally a big fan of this box. I mean, I don't know how everybody feels about it. It's distinguishable. It's definitely different than what we've seen in the past. I probably would have liked if they probably would have added Prey on the side, something like that, done something on the side, because really it's just blank. And I will say, despite the fact that it is blank, it's easy to know which box this is, so you're not going to mistake this for any other figure in your collection unless there are other figures that have similar box art. But just go ahead and you pull this on off, and then after that you get a better look at the action figure. Obviously mine's already been taken out of it, but on the back you just have that singular picture of the Feral Predator, and there's no read up, nothing like that. I believe a lot of the packaging for the Feral Predator has been very simple. I'll go ahead and show you the text, by the way, that it has on the back. It's just Prey and tells you what accessories are included, so you're not getting a whole synopsis of the movie or anything about the character. It's pretty straightforward, but definitely box art that I do love, and the aesthetic fits extremely well for what this action figure is going for. So we're going to go ahead and shed a light on the sculpt and the actual paint apps of this. Now there is one thing I do want to go ahead and say as a disclaimer. So let's say, for example, everybody displays their action figures a little different. Let's say you want to add the shield. So if you want to go ahead and add the shield here, I'm sorry, but there is no slit to actually hold it. That is actually filled in on this one. So this will be exclusive to the other variant that released beforehand. I don't know about the next one. We'll figure that out or not. Personally, I have no desire to display the shield with this one, but I just figured I'd check it out. So it is overall 99% the exact same sculpt. Our blood is caked all over the place. Now obviously they made sure that this is sensible throughout the figure. It's more intense at the top, because obviously he was holding the bear, but then after that it kind of lightens as you go through to the feet. Now, one thing I really applaud about this is how it's not the exact same on each side. So for example, we do have different placements of the blood on both feet and of course on the legs. And go to the back, and just on the back also right here you'll notice that the heel right here has nothing, but we do have some specks of blood right there. Also, the dreadlocks are not completely just painted red because he was holding it over. There is some variety, so you do have your blacks, and you do have areas of the dreadlocks that are untouched by blood, and it just continues all around. His arms are pretty well just completely caked in blood. A lot of variety from your dark reds to your light reds. So I really like how they did this. I mean, it's a simply painted action figure over this translucent plastic that we have going on right here. In fact, I will say, dare I say, this might be my favorite translucent cloaked figure there is. I really don't collect a lot of these action figures. I think I have maybe like a total of like one in my action figure collection, because I'm just not somebody who desires to have a lot of these ones all that much. Now, one thing I do want to go ahead and point out is we're going to go ahead and pull the mask off, and we're going to put this big boy off to the side. Now for the mask, it became an obvious standard for these action figures to go ahead and include a mask that comes off. Interior of this I think is really nice because you have this translucent plastic and all the detail on the inside. And we're really fortunate to have that because I've called for that for a long time. I know at one point, the first Ultimate release, which one of the earliest ones was the Jungle Hunter, and I remember the action figure was just blank on the inside, but they have continued to go ahead and give with the detail, and I just love the translucent on the inside. I think it is neat that they went ahead and gave us this bloodied up, unmasked face, despite the fact that he was never shown at that point, I don't believe. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch the movie. I'm positive he had his mask on, but I think it's neat they added that variety in there. You can do some cool photography with this one. I already can imagine what people are gonna do with it. If you have the Predator corpse, this will pair up completely well for this. So I mean, so many ideas that we're gonna see probably popping up on Instagram that people are gonna be shooting shots of. So let's go ahead and talk about the articulation. Now, the articulation for this action figure is pretty well the same as what we saw on the last release. We'll go ahead and run through this pretty quickly, but you can go ahead and move this head all the way around. It rocks up and down. Move over to the arms. Obviously, it will be the same on both sides, but we do have a cut right here that does allow for this arm to go all the way up, and you can get just so much range out of it. Thanks to the fact that this has no armor on it. Probably one of the most movable Predators in the arm department since the Lab Escape Predator from the 2018 Predators movie. I can't remember the name of that Predator for the life of me. It'll come back to me eventually. We do have a cut at the bicep right here, and then for that we have double jointed elbows, and then for that we have the hands, which go ahead and spin all the way around. We'll talk about these hands more in a moment. And oh, Fugitive, that's who it was. He's literally right here, he's right next to me. But anyway, came back to me. See, as I was saying, you have a cut in the abs right here, it rocks up and down, and then for that you have the lower body, which just spins all the way around. For the legs, it doesn't stop, so you can go ahead and get him to do the splits, and you can go ahead and move these legs just all the way forwards and backwards some right there. It does get a little restricted. And then after that, you have your double jointed knees as far as you're getting them back right there. And then after that, for the feet, you can go ahead and just rotate these around. And there is a little bit of a rock right there. So yeah, quite a bit of range with this action figure. I mean, you can do quite a bit. Pretty impressive in the articulation department. It's just pretty well what we've had from the Predator action figure. It's just more fluent thanks to the actual translucent plastic. So for the accessories department, this figure isn't exactly as loaded as I believe the last one, but it's got a decent chunk of accessories. One of the first things I want to go and talk about is this will be for holding the actual staff on the back of the Predator. So this little bag right here, do be careful with it, don't lose it, because it's one of those things that I will say that it's optional if you want to go ahead and sell it on it, but it's there. Next accessory that we do have is the backpack the Predator has. This obviously detaches by a magnet. Now, along with the hands that we already have on the actual action figure, we have 4 additional hands. We have a grasping hand, we have a hand that is cupped holding an object, and then for that we have 2 fists that you can go ahead and install on the actual Predator figure. So you do have quite a variety of what you can go ahead and do with the hands. Next included we have a collapsed spear, and then we have 2 different mouths. So we have one with the mandibles that are slightly open and the jaw is slightly open, and then for that we have one that is completely closed to give you a little bit of variety for how you want to go ahead and display this. As talked about before, we have the helmet. And then you have a full spear, which you just go ahead and attach in the middle right here. And this is translucent at the tail end, but the tip of it is all bloodied. And it's probably one of my favorite accessories included in this pack. This will be the accessory I'll be displaying with my Feral Predator on the shelf. And as usual, you get 2 wrist blades included in the pack. Unfortunately, I lost the other one. At some point, my Feral fell over and the other one flew off, and I'm still trying to locate it. But they're pretty self-explanatory about how to pop them in. Alright, so let's go ahead and give the final verdict on the ultimate bare blood Feral Predator. This might be kind of subjective, up to you as a collector. Are you one of those people that collects all Predator everything, or are you one of those people that's kind of picky and choosy about what you want to add to your collection? Me personally, this was cool enough to be added. I don't have a whole lot of these. I checked my collection and I have 2 other Cloaked Predators, and this one I felt like I needed to add because it's a cool idea. That said though, if a general buyer is at the store and they see both of them and you have $40 to spend, you're going to spend it on the regular one over this one. So I do want to say that the Ultimate Bare-Blood one is one of those variants that, yeah, it's cool, but I don't think it appeals to everybody. It does have less accessories, which is kind of unfortunate. We are missing the trophies and a few other weapons that were not included with the Bare-Blood variant, and I don't think there were any accessories that were included with the Bare-Blood one that are exclusively to the action figure. So that is kind of a drawback for this. That said, though, it is a really cool idea. Neca executed it extremely well. And it is just the second of the 3 variants, and I am going to track down the 3rd variant, and I will do a review of that ASAP once I can get my hands on that. That said, are you going to go ahead and get this variant? Have you got it? Let me know what you think of this Bare-Blood variant. You know, is it one that you approve of? Thanks for watching this video. Like, subscribe. You guys have a great day, and thanks always for your time, anytime, for anybody that takes the time to check out my content.